All right, now we're recording. ITS 148, and let me share my screen. All right, so we are in chapter 21, and let's see, I am recording, and let's go to La Lima. And we are somewhere around here. I'm going to do 21-1 and 21-2 today. And then after that, we're only going to have one more assignment. So I think there's a 22-1. So let's go see what they look like. Doesn't look like there's a 22-1. All right, well, I guess we don't have a 22-1. Anyway, I'll come up with something for XML. All right, so in this assignment, it is the inventory maintenance assignment. And so we start with exercise inventory maintenance with the text file. It's this one here in the chapter 1 exercises. And so let's grab that. That would be in here, 21. And we can start with both. Inventory maintenance with text file is 20-21-1, and inventory maintenance with binary file is 20-2. So let's download both of them. I'm going to put them on the desktop. There they are. And I'm just going to put this out of the way. And let's start with the text file one. I'm going to put that out here. And I don't need this anymore. And here's the binary one. I can put that one out here also. And I don't really need this anymore either. Let's see, where, oh, here. Okay, so let's open up the text file one. Okay, so you notice we don't see a .sln file. That's okay. Go inside here and double click on the inventory maintenance.csproj file. Double click there, and it opens up. And all right, so when we run this, it looks like this. Doesn't do anything. Okay, so basically we've got a file. This is a text file here. When we look at it, it looks like this. And this is an inventory of products. This is like product number or something. This is the product itself, and this is what it cost. And so if we look at this is the inventory maintenance, and we would see the products listed here. What does the code look like? First thing we do is we load up the list box with the products. Let's look at this new form. Oh, there's an item number, a description, and a price. And this code here checks to see if everything is, well, okay, so it's launched by clicking the save button. clicking the Save button here, clicking that, and that brings us to here. It validates it, and then it inserts. It creates a new inventory item, and and it returns it. Okay. Yeah, this is how this method is invoked, and it's invoked from clicking on Add Item here. This Add Item, you know, pops up the form, and this thing pops up the form, and the form returns this item. And when the item is returned, it adds it into the item list. And then it saves the item list out into the database, which is this thing here. So what we're supposed to do is, let's look at the assignment here. What did I just do? Oh, okay. So we're supposed to add code to the getItems method that creates the code creates a stream reader object with a file stream object for the inventory items text file that's included with the project, and then we add code that reads each record of the text file and stores the fields into an invoice item object, and then adds that object onto this list. And it keeps on doing this until it's done, and then it returns the list. And when it returns a list, of course, then it populates the table, the list box, and then it's ready to add. We're able to add and delete, and each time it changes, it stores it back out again using this method that we're going to add, which has got a stream writer object, you know, with a file stream object to write this file back out again. So we're talking about in this method right here. You notice this method doesn't have anything in it. This is a path to this file, and so this is the method which gets the items out of the file and returns them, and it is called, getItems is called by this program here. It's probably the load handler. Let me double click out here, and sure enough, here's the load handler for this form, and what it does is it calls getItems in this inventory item DB class, which is this thing here, inventory item DB class. It's this method in this class, and it reads them up and returns a list. So it returns the list here, and then it fills the list box. Filling the list box, we're talking about this method right here. This object, which is a list, it's this object here. Here we loop through all the objects and we add them to the list box. We're talking about this list box. All right, so let's go ahead and start adding this code. That would be in here. And so let's, we're going to start with, we've got this created, and here's where we add some code. So here we are reading. So let's just create a stream reader object. stream reader object, and I'm going to call it text in, and that's going to equal a new stream reader, and it's going to have, we're going to have a path which is basically this path right here. That's the path to the file that we want to read. And the mode, we use this file mode enumeration here. We want it open or create. And we just want to have read access to it. Files. Oh, new. I forgot about the new file stream. We are actually copying. If we look at the textbook, see, I've got to copy the textbook someplace. Let me find a copy of the textbook. Vital source. So if we look in chapter 22, I mean, let's look at a class that works with a text file. So right now we are doing this. It looks just like get products. And we just typed in this thing, pretty much, I think. Let me look at my code. And we don't need to, here we create a directory. We don't need to create the directory, but here we create the stream reader thing. It looks just like that. Text in, file mode, file create. It looks just like that. Let me. Okay. And next we want to read in from text. We have the, all right. Let me just, okay, we created this list already, so I'm just going to copy this. Copy. I don't think this is going to work. Copy, Control C. Does that do anything? Let me pop open this. This might sort of work. Let's see. Well, this isn't very close to what I need, but I'm going to use it anyway. Copy. move these speakers here. I'm going to paste it right here. All right, now the trouble with this is that's good. We columns, row split. That's we want to split what is read into an array of columns, and we aren't dealing with product class. We're dealing with INVITEM class. Where was that? INVITEM. That's the class, and let's call it an item instead of. And that's going to be a new INVITEM class. And so this is going to be, it's this item, and we've got an item number. We've got an item number, and that is actually going to be, I guess it's an integer. So we got to convert to an integer. So that's the first column. So it's going to be, where is it? This is the column 0, this is column 1, and this is column 2. Okay, column 0, column 1, column 2. So if we go back to here, column 0, column 1, and column 2. Column 1 is the description, so this is going to be item description. This is not working. Item description. And the last one is item price. And we don't need, and this is going to be items. We're sticking it into that one, and it's this item that we just created. Okay, so we read in a line, we split it based on the vertical bars. See, it's got vertical bars. So we split them into columns 0, column 1, column 2, and column 0, column 1, column 2. Column 0 is actually an integer number. Column 1 is a nice big long string, text string. It's the description. And item 2 is going to be converted into a decimal number, and that's the price. And then we add that item to the items list. Okay, so that should load it up. Let's see if it does. Look at that. It's all nice and loaded up. So if we actually add one more here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, Hawaiian, I don't know, oak tree. And that would be $95. So if we save this, and then we run this, look at that, Hawaiian oak tree. All right, so that works. Now we need to make it so we write it back out again, save the items. So that is going to look just like save products. So I'm just going to copy this somehow. Control C. Let me paste it here. And let me make this look better. This was down like this, I think. And then for each of these, I want to do this. And I want to do this. And I want to do this. Okay, so it looks like that. That's what, and I'm going to copy this. And I'm going to paste this here. Paste. So I've got this create a stream writer object called text out, and that's going to be a new stream writer object, and it's going to have this file stream here, and the file stream is going to be, this is going to be set to path, except for it's a capital P. It's this thing. It is a capital P, and creator. Oh, it's not a product. It's an INVITEM, and let's just call it item because I want to. This is items accept risk, and items, and so we're going to write out this item, which is a item number. And then we're going to write out this item description. And then we're going to write out this item price. All right, that looks good. So, okay, so now we can start this. And there we are. And so let's add. Did we do delete? Huh. No, I guess not. All right, so I'm going to add item 765431, and it's going to be a Hawaiian pear tree, and it's going to cost $120. Save. There we go. And now I want to. Oh, I added that in there, didn't I? Well, let's see what this looks like. It changed. Yes. Ooh, look at that. There's Hawaiian pear tree. Now, I don't know if the delete works. Let's see if it does. I'm going to delete this Hawaiian oak tree. Delete item. Yes, I do. Okay, it's gone. Click on this thing out. Click on the file again. It should say, it said if the file is changed. Do you want to reload it? Yes. And the Hawaiian oak tree is gone. All right, so that looks like we are we done? Let's see. Let me see if this. So we add code to the getItems method that creates a stream reader object with a file stream object for the inventory items.txt. That's included in the project. We saw that. The path constant contains the path to this file, as we saw that, capital P. The file should be opened if it exists and created if it doesn't. That's what we did here when we did this thing. It opens if it exists, or it creates it if it does not exist. Same with writing, by the way. We're just creating. Obviously, we're just creating. And so if it already exists, it deletes it. And then we are adding code that reads each record of the text file and stores the fields, which are separated by pipe characters, into an INV item object, and then adds that object to the list. And then it closes the stream reader object. We do all that. So we split it with the pipe character. We create a new inventory item object called item, and then we load the item number property, we load the description property, and we load the price property, and then we add that bad boy into the items list. And then after that, we close text in. We close the stream reader. And then we add code to the save items method. Oh, I can't talk to her now. I'm sorry. To the stream writer object with a file stream object. for the inventory items.txt file. So that's what we did here. Created the stream writer object called text out, which creates a file stream, and then we loop for all the items in this items list. We loop, and first we write out the item number, followed by a vertical bar. Then we write out the item description, followed by a vertical bar. Then we do a write line, the price. So what that does is that writes out the price, and then it adds the new line character. So it's one line at a time, and then we close it. So that's what we're doing here. We add code that writes each inventory item object in the list, in this list, to the text file, separating the fields with pipe characters, and then we close the stream writer object. So the last thing we do is we close the stream writer object, this thing. All right, well that's it for that assignment. So let's quickly do the next assignment. I'm gonna save this and close it. Oh, you remember when we opened it up, it didn't have this .sln file. So go back, step back to just before. It's normally at this level, and you notice there's no file path in front of it now. So okay, so what I'm talking about is I am talking about, where's my desktop? Okay, so here's all the stuff, and right here you notice there's no .sln file. So this here, I'm going to save a new .sln file. So I click save, and then lo and behold, now when we go back and look at that, there's a .sln file there. All right, now I can close this, exit. All right. And so that's this one, and I could zip that up and submit it for my assignment. All right, let's do the binary file one. Exactly the same. Oh, huh, okay. Gee, what happened? All right, well, I will create an inventory maintenance. I'm going to create another create a new file folder called inventory maintenance with binary file. And I'm going to put this thing inside there. Okay. I'm going to use this later. And then when I go in here, no .sln file, of course, go in here and double click on the, you notice here we have an inventory items.dat file. Instead of a txt file, we have a dat file. Anyway, double click on this inventory maintenance.proj. Hello? Oh yeah, okay, I just want to make sure I'm not muted. Okay.
Yeah, no, you're still good.
Okay. Here we are, and when we start it up, same kind of deal here, except for here we're using this inventory.dat file, and when we look at that, well, it's asking me how I want to look at it. So I'm just going to use my text editor right here. Ooh, and I also want to not have that checked. Okay, and it looks like this. It's got some text in there, but it's got a bunch of other gobbledygook garbage, because what's being stored here is an integer, which is the item number, the description, which we see there, and then after that, it's the price. And the price is a decimal number. So this is probably a decimal number somehow, and then before that is an item number somehow, and then this is the description, this one, and then you got a decimal number there, and so it's not going to look like it's readable because it's not ASCII characters. It's actually, you know, bits of ones and zeros for how the computer actually stores numbers, integers, and decimal numbers. So I'm going to close this because it's not. I don't want to change. I don't want to save. Okay. Oops. Well, anyway. All right. Let's see. So basically, it's the same thing. We've got this thing, and we look at the code, and this thing all looks the same. There's no inkling that we are dealing with the binary file here. Look in here, same thing. Nothing here suggests we're dealing with a binary file. When we look at, so we're going to be messing with this DB. It's same thing. We're going to, oops, yeah, DAT. And we're going to throw in some code here to read up the binary file. And we're going to throw in some code here to write the binary file back out again. So let's look at the assignment. All right, so you'll code an inventory maintenance application that reads data and writes the binary file. So we open up this one, which we just did. Add code to the getItems method that creates a binary reader object with a file stream object for the inventory items.dat file that's included in the project. The file should be opened if it exists and created if it does not exist. And it should be open for reading only. And then we're going to add code that reads each record of the, bam, this should be binary. Add code that reads each record of the binary file, stores the fields in an INV ITEM object, and then adds the object to the list, just like before. And then close the binary reader object. And then after that, we're going to add code to the save items method that creates a binary writer object with the file stream object for the inventory items.dat file. The file should be created if it does not exist or overwritten if it does exist. And it should be open for writing only. And then we add code that writes each item to the list item object to the binary file. Okay, good. This calls it binary. This is the only one that's wrong. Then close the binary writer object. Then test to make sure it works. All right. So we're gonna. This is code that works with a text file. Well, let's go back here and find some code that works with a binary file. All right, so we're talking about this code, copy, and that's for reading the binary file, and this would be for writing the binary file. Copy, paste. All right, I gotta make this look nicer. Like that, looks good. List products there, that's good. Oh, yes. And then that looks good. This is the while loop. Let's indent this. Do this here. Let's do this here. Do this here. And do this. And that goes out like that. Okay. This one, we got that going on. And then we got a for each there. We do this, 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 and this. And let's fix this, try to fix this up here. That's binary int, read over to list, invoice items, INV ITEM. It's a list of these invoice item objects, items, and it's a item, INV ITEM. And binary peak, blah, blah, blah. This is a INVITEM. And let's make this an item. Item. And it's a new INVITEM. And this is an item. Item. And this is not a code, it's a item number, right? Item number. Item number. And this is a description, this is a price. This is items. This is item. Blah, 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 items. Blah, blah. Oh, this is a item number. Description, price. All right, that looks pretty good. So I'm just going to take this here, copy, and I'm going to go over here, and this is for getting, right? This is for, this reads it in, sticks it into this list. So this reads it in, sticks it into the list, into this list. Do a paste. All right. This should be capital. This should be in, oh, I didn't like that. Oh, this is the same as this. I only need one of them, don't I? Well, I'll get rid of this one. All right, binary in each. Oh, item number is not a string, it's an integer. Read int. We have to read in an integer. Read int. We have to read in a 32-bit integer. And same with here, we have to write out. Oh, I guess that'll work. Yeah, I guess. Okay, so I should just be able to copy this over. Copy. Right here. And this is an invoice item. And this is a capital P. I must be missing something. Well, this goes out, that's that. Oh, something is expected, like maybe this. There we go. All right, so is that it? Might be it. So I'm going to start this, and I'm going to add an item. I'm going to add 55555, whatever, and it's going to be called a Oahu orange bush for $55. Hey, how about if I add a How about if I add a Maui muffin patch for $150. There we go. If I close this, if I exit, and let's look inside this inventory items, and let's use this, and let's not make it be always. And what comes up? Oh, look, there's more stuff. There's the Oahu orange bush, and there's the Maui muffin patch. Cool. So let's run this again. Lo and behold, there they are. Let's get rid of this snail pellets. Delete. Yes, I do want to delete. Let's get rid of linoleum or limon, whatever that is. Delete. Okay. Now let's exit. And now let's look at this, and we have to, it's modified. So yes. And looks like those two are those other two are gone, and we only have 4 in there now. We start this up again, and lo and behold, there they are. All right. So now we can do the same thing. Save all. And we have the same issue again because we're looking for someplace to put this .sln file. So let's go up 1 level. Can I do this? Here we are. We're up 1 level, and now we see that there's no big long path in front of this .sln file. And let's save that and close this. Exit. And now we see that in this inventory maintenance with binary file that we created, there is a .sln file. Double click that, and it starts right back up again. There we go. Look at that. It works. All right, so there we are. We got our 2 things, so you can zip that up and submit it. And that should be pretty easy. Does that look like that's going to be pretty easy?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So I guess that's all I have for today. And this should be pretty easy. And the last assignment is going to be some XML assignment. It's going to be like pretty easy, the same kind of thing. And then that'll be it. We can spend the rest of the time. Going back and fixing old programs or old assignments that maybe you haven't finished yet. And then that should be it.
All right.
All right. So thank you very much, and have a good Thanksgiving. And we will catch you next Tuesday. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.
See ya.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.